to wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, welcome to KJTV. And on the studio, we have Geoffrey Chui and Ben Muko. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has been an amazing week in Kenya. We are talking about Kenya's political realignment, the coming election next year. Looks like we are having a lot of realignment going on right now. And one of Ben, your camera is distracting a little bit. Okay, thanks. What is your take on what we are having different issues right now? We have this UDA ODM merger. There is an ODM split group, the one calling Linda Mwananchi. So it looks like we don't know whether it's a new outfit, a new coalition which has come, Linda Mwananchi. And then we have opposition which is struggling to have a flag bearer. What all of this and what do we make about this political realignment and how they are going to affect the coming election? Chui, what is your take on all of this shenanigan going on in Kenya right now?
Thank you for having me, Mr. Dr. Mandi. Yeah, I think for my side, I think it's an interesting dynamic that is coming out right now. From our opinion, I don't think we know how this will potentially end yet, but I think it gives us a glimpse of where we think they should be going. The split between ODM is kind of interesting, where you have a few folks who, in my opinion, espouse what the late Baba had, and it's showing in the in this young tax like Sifuna, Babu Wino, and I would say also Winnie Odinga in terms of more so like a different direction on where they wanna go. And then on the other side, you have I would say that the old establishment that was accommodated in the government that is still wants to maintain what they had agreed on based on the broad-based agreement when Baba was alive. But I think also once they're in government right now, they're already enjoying, I guess, some of the benefits of being in government. And I think some of them are a little bit apprehensive to let go. But I would say, I think the general sense of the Kenyan politics based on the economy, based on how people feel right now, and of course, based on the Gen Z effect that is still there, I think people are yearning for a general sense of new direction. And these young thugs are coming out in a way that they speak what a lot of people want to speak. But I would say I'm yet to see like a clear-cut direction whether Kenyans in general want to go towards that direction.
Okay. Aberi, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
No problem. Yeah, we are on an issue of this political realignment, and what we have seen all of these. What impact are they going to have? It looks like we are having a new split in ODM. Linda Mwananchi is like coming a strong offshoot from ODM. What is your take on this political realignment, Aber?
Thank you so much once again. It has been a while. Thank you so much for bringing me back on this platform. Yeah. Now, what I can say is that this team of Edwin Sifuna and the others, they are trying, actually, they have brought out the thinking of Raila Amolo Odinga. And it looks like Edwin Sifuna has been the best student of Raila. The reason as to why we are seeing people coming out in large numbers to stand with Edwin Sifuna It is because Edwin Sifuna has been consistent on what he does and what he says ever since Baba was alive until even after his death. So they have gotten it easy to resonate with this type of politics.
Mm.
And the fact remains that they have the people. In that, as he started his politics, he has been going with the thinking of the people. That is what has given him some strength, together with the other ODM members who have decided they're not going to go with the broad-based team.
Mm.
Now, from what we can see, the fact remains is that these ones who have remained in government, the broad-based team, they are going to be relevant in William Ruto's team. With
Mm.
no strength, neither will their voice be heard as such, because they don't have the most important part, the following. So eventually you're going to have Edwin Sifunas going to completely take over the ODM party. Even if they are outside the party, they are going to have the people, which is going to be an impact, which is going to make a huge impact in the politics of the entire ODM fraternity. So I feel so far
Mm.
the Sifuna team, they have taken over.
Okay. Well, Chief, what do you think of that? Do you think Sifuna they have taken over ODM?
I won't say they've entirely done that, but in all likelihood, I think that's where they're heading. And I think we'll know more maybe in the next few months as So right now they're doing this tour called Linda Mwananchi, and of course, so far you're seeing the acceptance of that tour is beginning to look a little bit more promising. So I would say to Abba's point, I think we're probably heading to that direction, but I'm a little cautious to wait more to see uh, what else comes in terms of other factors that might come in. Now, to add on what Abel said too, the other folks who are already in government in terms of that broad-based agreement, I think they're trying to maintain what they agreed on. But I think if Sifuna's movement picks up momentum and it looks like a genuine and deliberate force that will need to be addressed, and I think even those who are already, in government, people like Joho, people like even Buddy, once they start seeing the writing on the wall, I think they might change that. But again, I also have to say that the current government under President Ruto is also not sleeping. They're also strategizing and seeing how can we tame this movement before it gets too far or out of hand. And I'm pretty sure they're strategizing ways and ideas on how to do that. And I think there's people also, I would say, on the other camp that has Matiang'i, Kalonzo, and Gachagua, the united opposition. It's also interesting to see how this Sifuna movement and the dynamic kind of like ruffles that state of affairs in the united opposition. So I think more to come, but I think right now it's too early to say for sure that one thing is going this direction. But what I'm seeing is seems to be something that is going to shake a few things as the months come by. So
Okay, Ben. Yeah, we lost you, Ben. Can we hear from you?
Yeah, I had
Just a second,
I,
kindly, Ben, if it's okay. There's a point I wanted to make clear in relation to what I meant that they have taken over the ODM party. One thing is that we have to look at what has been ODM party. What is ODM party? This has been a street party. The kind of politics Edwin Sifuna and the team are doing right now, that is how ODM party has been having its discussions in the streets. And now, if you look at what the other ODM team led by Oburu Oginga, what they are doing, they are trying to take ODM back to the boardrooms where they sit down and make decisions. Now, the street conversation, it is what the ODM team is used to. The supporters, that's what they're used to. And when I say they have taken over, it's because they are now the people who they can comfortably hold such kind of a discussion in the street because they have the people with them. Right now, Oburu cannot try to compete with them because if they go to the street, they'll be embarrassed. So that is the takeover. In that now, there is no way Gladys Wanga and the others can come to the street and do the same thing because they will not match what this other team has already started. However, as my friend here, Chui, is saying, I hope I'm correct in the name. I think ODM now, the one led by Edwin Sifuna, they need to be very cautious on decision making. everything they do, they have to be very keen to ensure that they don't make a mistake that will give William Ruto room for him to bring them down. Just making decisions, the right ones, slowly but in a sure way.
Okay, good. Ben.
Yeah, Daktari, thank you for the chance. And I had a problem with the internet, and I'm back. Yeah, I think I agree with my colleagues here that the storm, this is the storm making El Nino. Um, the Sifuna movement. Is it this Sifuna, as Eric is talking about, is that ODM now is with the people. Even on the people who are sitting down talking, the management, but the people itself, themselves. You had, I was listening to Sifuna today. They are all saying, this is Sifuna. All of them were Sifuna movement. And if you watch those that group very closely, you will see Jubilee people at the front. What does that tell you? And I was listening um, to Matiangi. He said that that is scientific. There's a statement he says yesterday. So that so my point here is that the opposition, they are hanging up together. The 2002 will involve as we move forward. So this is some of interesting stuff to watch as we move forward.
Now, could it be that what we are seeing in Sifuna might be bigger than what people are thinking? It's a change of guard. If they go with this momentum, they will overshadow even this, what we are calling opposition. And the opposition will be bundled together. And see, and I would want to see what the ODM meeting where Oburu was talking. And if you can it make any sense.
Some discipline, disciplinary issues, because we believe that political party is like a club. It must have some discipline. And democracy itself does not mean chaos. Democracy means order.
Now, that is, you could see that is in Tononoka today. You can see when the crowd there, people are not there. Even Oburu, the way he's talking, is not energizing people. Even when he's talking about this, people are walking away. And if you, we will play a clip. I mean, if you see even just the picture, that was in Kitengera, how the people were there. Are they, this movement, could it come with a lot of fire and make these oligarchs, even opposition, irrelevant? What do you think? Yeah, Julie.
I think it's too early to tell. And I think if you look at those Kitengela videos and pictures, they look good, but also they might be misleading. Kitengela as a town is a very popular town. It's very busy anytime, any day. You know, and if you show up there, people will show up. You know, but I will say that the refreshing part of this Fura movement is that I think it's a young movement that is catching this Gen Z age era kids who really want to play a part in the politics, and you can see that their language, their messaging, even their way they hustle in terms of like Mukwa said, like the street way of doing things, it's resonating very well with a lot of people. You know, usually also best with the economy, and I think on the other side, if you look at Ruto's camp is also full of young people, and they are they are focusing on getting that niche in a way that is inclusive to a point where you're seeing more of like a young new generation ideas. And I think for this other opposition or ODM or now what Sifuna is espousing, I think if they catch that particular sense of urgency from these young folks, I think it might be the thing we need to counter what Ruto has. If you look at now when it comes to Oburu and these other folks, I think their politics are a little bit different in that they're not energizing. You know, it's almost a repeat of the same kind of logic in thinking, when the reality has changed now a little bit. That in that now you have more people who are more focused, especially these young guys, and I think you have found a way to kind of like catch them. And I think the Sifuna movement, the Babuino, it looks like it's promising, and I think if they do it well and carefully, it might be a force to reckon with.
Okay. Ben, what do you think? Are they going to overshadow the old guard?
Yeah,
because the old guard are struggling with the message.
Yeah, actually, they have moved all the ODM to the street, to the people. So the people is power. You heard them saying that ODM power, people's power. So I agree with what the statement is that they have the power now. They have the movement.
Yeah.
So they will overshadow, of course, definitely.
Now, Kalonzo Musyoka is struggling with the message. I saw in the weekend where I was talking in another secondary school in Kambani. Even people were talking, he was struggling to make them keep quiet for him to talk. And then I say, really? Matiang'i has some following, but he's also struggling with the message. Gachagua seems to have, I mean, he can command some crowd, but he's also not having any message. So is this movement of Sifuna going to overshadow this, Abel?
One thing that is very interesting with this movement, let's look at its composition. It has all generations. As we speak today, you can see Orengo is there. And there are many other older people like Onyonka who are supporting that team. So imagine, there also amongst the voters, there are people who resonate, who will actually find themselves in that particular group because of Orengo, Onyonka, and the others. And then Edwin Sifuna himself, as a millennial, or maybe and Babu Wino, they still attract that group of youths towards their side. When you check through the online platforms, there is where the Gen Z comes in. Right now, you can be able to tell that the Gen Z have found what they have been missing. Somehow, they have started resonating a lot with Edwin Sifuna. For those who might not know, they started before Edwin Sifuna was ousted from ODM as the Secretary General. They started playing a clip of Edwin Sifuna in Parliament, telling the police not to shoot. So people have started remembering. In fact, the hashtag that has been trending among the Gen Zs, it is that we still remember. Meaning that they remember everything that has been happening, the killings, the abductions, and they also remember Edwin Sifuna fighting for them in the Parliament. Now, when you look at the complete nature of this group of Edwin Sifuna, you can tell that even opposition must be shaken. They must be shaken. Right now, it is the prayer of the opposition plus the prayer of William Ruto that this group of Edwin Sifuna, it does not advance. Because if it does so, then it complicates things a lot. Because the young generation, they are saying, because we interact online a lot, they are saying that they will wake up and vote because they have a reason as to why they can vote for Edwin Sifuna. So when that conversation starts, things can change against the opposition and William Ruto. So in a nutshell, the opposition, I think they need to find a way to enter into Edwin Sifuna's, maybe to bring Edwin Sifuna, which I doubt they can do that, but at least they need to work together somehow. If they don't do that early enough, then they are under threat.
Quite, quite a very good analysis you have given there, and I mean, I would like us to see this now this clip of Sifuna.
Crazy visual effects like this.
It didn't come as planned. Sorry about that. Sorry. Sorry.
A message was delivered not just to ODM insiders, but to State House itself. The base is restless, sound is shifting, and the opposition is not as fractured as some had.
And tell that clip, that crowd you have seen there, that has sent a message. So what is it that it's cutting itself, because it looks like it's something which has emanated from ODM, but it looks like it's on its own right now.
You're talking about the Sifuna team being on its own.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the crowd that we are seeing there, that is actually a clear sign to the entire country that the Raila supporters, this is the type of politics they want. That has been the Raila's politics. Hii ya kutokea kwa street. That's what these people have been waiting for. So this is an opportunity they got. That's the first thing. Secondly, when you see people come out in large numbers the way they did for Edwin Sifuna, it becomes a big threat, because right now Edwin Sifuna does not need a tent. He does not need branding, not even ODM t-shirts. He just needs to announce that I'll be at some point. But also when you look at this crowd, it puts them in some kind of danger somehow, because to move with such kind of a team, to move with such kind of a support, all the way to even 2026 towards the end, or even 2027 at the start, it's not an easy task. It requires for these people to discover what is this that they have, which has attracted this crowd. So therefore, I feel from my side, it is that basically it is a group of youths, or maybe, yeah, because those are basically majority are youths, who are waiting for certain way of messaging, a different way of reasoning in the Kenyan politics. And most of it's borrowed from Raila Amolo Odinga's type of politics. So that is basically what has brought that crowd out. But when it comes to this other team of ODM, and you see what they did at the coastal region, people were branded. The crowd was just calm, meaning they are lacking also something. And that's what we are saying. The Sifuna team has already taken off.
So what is the way forward then, Jui? Is Jui listening? Are we with the Jui? I don't know. Did Jui?
There could be some network issues, eh?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. There could be some network issues.
Yeah. So, do you think he might end up, this group might end up, what impact will they have on the opposition, the one they were trying to work for unity?
Now, me, according to me, what I feel is that this team, they should not make any decision so far, whether to join opposition or to support anyone in opposition. Right now, everyone should follow Matiang'i's way. Build yourself. Let Edwin Sifuna, Babu Wino, the way they have started their team to stick together.
Mm.
They do their politics and engage in conversations with the people across the country.
Mm.
That one will build them and give them some good strength, some good starting point. I
Mm.
heard they are going to Western Kenya for an entire week because I think they'll be going to Trans Nzoia all the way to Bungoma.
Mm.
That is a good gesture because there's a gap that is in Western Kenya, and Edwin Sifuna can effectively fill that gap. So from my point, I feel that the way forward for this team is to basically first stick together and be able to meet the expectations of these young people. They don't want this group to associate themselves to any other person. First, let them prove what they are capable of. At some point, if there's need for these people to work together,
Mm.
let there be an indication from the public because it will definitely show. But I feel even if they decide to go all the way to the ballot, they will not cause danger to the opposition, but danger to William Ruto. I'm imagining of a scenario where Edwin Sifuna decides to vie for president. The
Mm.
best person will be the best to face William Ruto in the runoff. So there's no problem. The ones Kenyans want will eventually get his chance.
Oh,
I
so yeah,
I
if
think I
okay, Chui, go
no
ahead. Chui.
I like to say something on what Abel said. I
Can
think
you put your
I
volume
agree in the
up?
sense that
Chui, your volume is down. Eh?
let me go ahead. Let me fix it. I think it's
Okay.
I'm having some slowness here, so let me see here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like to say something about what Abel said. I think I agree with him that that let this Funa camp kind of like do what they're doing to create that movement that any team will want to work with. But
Mm.
I will say that I will not agree that they should go all the way and say Sifuna run for president because that is what really Ruto wants. Okay, a split opposition, whether it's the united opposition and then maybe another splinter group coming out through Sifuna, that of course will divide the votes. You know, we're probably going. I'm going to go back to that time of Matiba, where Moi was very strategic in terms of propping up people so that the vote can be split. And I think if we're not careful, we're going to go back to that scenario. And I think right now, based on what I know in terms of how Ruto works and his team, I think the 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 general mood of Ruto's leadership is waning down. You know, people want change. But the only way Ruto can stay relevant in this politics is if he's able to split the opposition. You know, he's able to sponsor or even let the opposition break themselves down. And now Sifuna is coming with a very good movement, which is what I think we should all support, including the united whatever opposition. But the danger is that if there's a split in terms of these splinter groups where each of them wants to run, then I think that will be a danger that will ensure that Ruto comes back. And we have to be careful in terms of that this drive at some point has to end where the opposition actually comes together as one. That's the only way they can be able to outmuscle what Ruto is thinking right now.
Given our history, political history in Kenya, political parties tend to surround themselves with the owner, and when the owner dies, the party dies. Can we agree that for sure ODM died with Raila, and we are likely going to see an offshoot from ODM, more especially like Raila, who has gone out right now. He's on. I mean, Sifuna, who has been kicked out of ODM, might be a stronger force, and he has only remained with Oburu Odinga has remained with the shell of ODM, which is on the graveside of Raila. Ben.
Yeah, I think Doctor, you are right. Remember when Oginga died, the father of Raila, exactly the history repeats itself. That's exactly what happened. the Ford Kenya just went like that. Raila was forced to resign, and he went back to the voters. Then he rejuvenated. He started a new party. So I agree with you, Dr. that when somebody dies, he haunts it and he goes with it. But the goodness with this movement now, Sifuna goes with all ODM members. He lives with the paperwork with Dr. Buru. That's the difference. That if he registers another party, he will go with all the members. There is a possibility.
Okay. Abel, what do you think about that?
The fact remains is that when Raila Amolo Odinga died, he went down to the grave with ODM party because he was the controller of everything. Well, right now, what I can say is that the survival of ODM is not the party itself, but the spirit of Raila, where the best student of Raila to come out and bring the best version of Raila Amolo Odinga, which has been missing in all these other politicians until Edwin Sifuna was given the limelight now. Sifuna seems to be the best student of Raila Amolo Odinga because when you look at his messaging, for instance, let me first give an example of Babu Wino. Babu Wino has been talking about his gubernatorial race and the Luo kingpinship. Baba akitoka, Babu anaingia. When you listen to people like Ndindi Nyoro, people like Junet Mohammed and the others, they're talking about broad-based. But Edwin Sifuna has been coming out with a unique message, telling the people, first of all, leaders, let's stop talking and listen to the common man. That has been the language of Raila Amolo Odinga. That has been the foundation of the ODM party. So right now, what is happening when it comes to the ODM party, it is gone. The people of Kenya are looking at now which leader will emerge. And that's basically what's going to happen. So what we have right now is Edwin Sifuna to establish him.
Oh, we lost your voice too. See your phone on somebody calling you because you have. We can't hear you. Abel, can you hear us? Hello? Abel is. What's wrong? Hello? Oh. No voice.
I think there's some, I think there's some lagging on the internet.
Oh, the internet looks maybe from his side.
No, it's frozen. So
yeah, we can continue, Dr.
Okay.
As we wait for him.
Yeah, Geoffrey, you wanted to say something, Geoffrey?
Yeah, I mean, on the point that you were asking about whether ODM is going with Raila, so I would say ODM is gone with Raila leadership. It's gone. But the tenets of what Raila stood for and the mentorship he gave to a lot of people who are ODM members still remains. Now the issue is who among those who remained will better off carry Raila's mantle. And I think that's what we're looking at. And right now, Sifuna looks like he's the one who is espousing that. When Abel said about what you saw in Kitengela, that the kind of energy, the kind of crowd. So that's what we know ODM to be all about. And Sifuna is espousing that. Now you add Baba Wino into the mix. You add now Kibagen into the mix. And of course, Orengo into the mix. I think you're beginning to see that. And well, it's a good thing. My only worry is that the task we have at hand with who they're going to go against in terms of Ruto has to be thought very clearly, because if you're dealing with Ruto is very smart and very strategic, and for you to be able to get beyond this election and beating, you also have to be very strategic. Ruto knows that his goodwill is not quite there. So it's important again that the united opposition and the Sifuna movement and any other person who wants to find a way to stick together as one and present a very united opposition, because that's the only way that I think from my standpoint that will be a formidable force to actually even be able to face Ruto. And we still have time. So,
what you are
I'm
talking,
looking what I'm seeing from.
So do you think with all of this rising of Sifuna complicates Ruto's chances more than he thinks? Because it looks like he's fighting a guerrilla war. You know, when you're fighting a guerrilla war, you don't know who is the real enemy, you know. And that's what Sifuna said. He said when the Luyas go hunting, they don't go together. They hunt a hyena in a different way, like gorilla way. Don't you think this new outfit coming up, because he thought he had locked ODM, so ODM members were going to follow to his camp, so his mathematics now are in complication?
I mean, what's the best way to disrupt your position? Is to cause chaos among the opposition, and I think that's what you're seeing right here.
Chaos.
You know, the best way to disrupt your position is to cause chaos among them. Yes, you let them fight among themselves so that they don't present a united front. You know, so, and I think that's what I'm saying here. And while it looks worrying right now, I mean, the next few months will tell. But I think right now, I think Ruto is liking what he's saying, because he's saying, okay, there's nothing coming from this side, but it's not quite there yet. But if that movement takes its own life and becomes something else, then he has to worry. But I think at the very end of the day, is coming election, having a united opposition will be key. Yes.
When you see the people like the one you saw in Kitengere, are those who are listening to Sifuna's message? Sifuna is the one opposing ODM members going to be swallowed with UDA. So that is the message sending that ODM members, a majority of ODM members are not with the UDA. So that takes him back to the drawing board.
No, I agree with that. Right now, that's what it looks like, and I think that might be true. But again, my point is this, though, and we have learned this from the past elections. You know, it doesn't matter how you think about what happened. But I'll say this: when it comes to the election day, the folks who actually go to vote are a very different dynamic than what you're seeing. And if you can coalesce that crowd to turn into voters, then that's where you have. As we are busy saying about numbers, Ruto's one of Ruto's strategies is actually knowing the numbers of people who vote, and that's very key. Unless these crowds turn into some votes and actually you can for sure capture those, then it's something else. And the only way, in my opinion, that might be even close to true is if the united opposition or the opposition comes together as one. You know, then at least in some sense you are guaranteed that, you know, out of those many crowd, I think a lot of them will vote for the opposition as one, not as a splinter group. So that's what I'm thinking at this point.
Okay, Ben.
Dr. You know, this is a movement that you can't ignore. Sifuna movement is something that you can't even ignore it. You know why? The people who want to go for elections, who want to apply for positions, they are very strategic. Which way can we go so that we can get the movement or the momentum? Number two, Sifuna looks like he has all the transcript of Raila. He says, I'm the one who drafted the agreement, the memorandum of
the
UDA.
broad-based agreement.
Yes. The 10-point agenda, which has not been touched. Okay. Secondly, he says he knows what Raila thought about it. And actually, Raila himself, he said, when Sifuna talks, he talks for Mpiabo what? Of the ODM. So on those 3 points, can be able to tell who's going to win the hand of 2027. So this is a movement, President Jui, you can't even ignore. We don't know tomorrow, but I can tell you for sure, there are some big movement behind Sifuna. Who funds him? Who is funding him?
Okay.
So, unfold information, wait for 2 weeks. You come to tell me. This is more than what we think.
Okay. Abel.
What I can say about this movement here, you know, there is fear that probably William Ruto might do things to probably bring the opposition down. I feel to some extent we have really overrated William Ruto a lot. We see him like he's some guy doing some magic somewhere who can be able to think and beat everyone. Me, what I can say is this. William Ruto's plan was very clear. After losing the Mount Kenya, okay, first of all, how did he win the elections? He won through the Mount Kenya region, got some support. He made some intrusion to other parts, like coastal region, where Alias and Joe and rather Raila Amolo Odinga's allies slept. That's how simply William Ruto intruded and eventually got some votes from there. Now, in 2027, he's rest assured, he's very much assured that he's going to lose the Mount Kenya. He does not have the Mount Kenya support. So his game is to get support from elsewhere. And there are 3 areas he was banking on. He was banking on the northern part of Kenya. Then he goes to Luhyaland, that's western part, and then takes the coastal region, at least to replace the Mount Kenya votes. So if this team that is with Edwin Sifuna decides to come together against President William Ruto, then William Ruto is finished. Why? They will be able to get the Western Kenya votes away from William Ruto because there's nobody right now as we speak who can be able to be more vocal, more articulate, and get more support from Western Kenya than Edwin Sifuna. We have to agree that one because even Natembe himself, he does not have the voice he used to have before. So it's only for the opposition team, the one led by Edwin Sifuna now, to be very consistent and ensure that at least they have maintained their support. When it comes to Bobo Wino, he has a lot of support within the lowland. With the help of James Orengo and the others, they have taken the few votes that William Ruto was backing on away from him. Now, the part we can talk about is the coastal region, where nobody tangible has come out to join this team of Edwin Sifuna. But what I can say from where I stand is this. William Ruto only stands a chance to win, first through rigging, second through the support of Mount Kenya. If Mount Kenya decides to come together completely once again and support him, that one he has the chances of winning. But without this Mount Kenya, and then the Western Kenya is gone, I don't think that William Ruto stands a big chance to win. But however, we can also say that what can make William Ruto benefit in 2027, it is the mistakes that the opposition can make. First of all, choosing a leader the people do not want. If they choose a different leader, then most people will not just do anything other than coming out to vote. They will not come out to vote generally. And William Ruto has a certain group of people from northern Kenya, some of them from Kalenjin and some Kalenjin land, and then plus other people who will definitely come out and vote. So the opposition just needs to be careful not to make mistakes that can give William Ruto somewhere to penetrate.
Thanks. Thank you for your analysis. Actually, our time is gone. And thanks, gentlemen, for your insight on the political realignment. Unless somebody has some comment to make.
I want to say something about the cost.
Yeah.
Kachawa was in cost, and he kind of endorsed Chief Chicho Jobefu, this guy from Mombasa, an MP. He said he's going to endorse him for what? For governorship? That's big. So if, as Mokwa was talking about, he said if this opposition end, Kachagwa, Matiangi, all of them can be able to unite and come with one candidate, Ruto has nowhere to go. Even if we could give him the time and the office to count the votes, still opportunity will win.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Our time is gone. Jui, you wanted to say? Hey, Jui, can you a minute, please?
No. I agree. No, I'll say I agree. I agree with everything that was said between Abel and even Muko. But I also just before I just want to say, remember the last elections, we were so sure that the opposition was going to win, and you saw what happened. So again, history does repeat itself unless we change how we do things. So that's all I'll say.
Okay. Thank you very much.